What is going on YouTube? It is Gryzzly here, and today I'm bringing you a top 3 tips for beginners in Fortnite. So I recorded all the gameplay prior to this. I tried doing a live commentary, didn't work out very well, so I'm gonna be kind of talking over the recordings and telling you guys exactly what to do. So the 3 tips I'm going to be giving you guys today is 1. Building, 2. Combat, and 3. Strategy. So the first one is building. Building in Fortnite is very vital, especially if you want to live and get those dubs for the boys. And building can be very overwhelming, especially if you're new to the game. So pretty much how building works is you gather materials, wood, brick, and metal. Wood builds the fastest, but is the weakest. Brick builds the second fastest and is the second strongest. And metal builds the slowest, but is the strongest. So you can collect the resources through mining through the map and cutting down trees and hitting walls and stuff like that. And on the right hand side of your screen you'll see the materials. And every 10 materials you have, you can build 1 wall or staircase. So the wall and the staircase are going to be your most common building materials. And in the video I'll show you right now, you're going to be doing something that is called a zigzag. A zigzag is something very good that you want to use in almost every battle. Obviously there are exceptions to this, but if somebody is head on, a zigzag is a very good way to counter people. The idea of the zigzag is to put a wall down, and then a ramp, and then a wall, and then a ramp, and then a wall, and then a ramp, and then a wall, and then a ramp, pretty much until you run out of materials or until you feel comfortable. Obviously you don't have to do it like a million times, but like 4, 5, 6 times is pretty good. The idea of this ramp is to counter people who just have insane amounts of ammo and can just unload on your ramps and destroy them. So this is really good if you don't have a lot of ammo and they do. You build it and you go on the back and they'll be shooting a long time before they get to you. The zigzag being very useful, it is not very versatile, but it does defend from a lot of stuff. The other building that you're going to want to do is the 4 walls and a ramp. I don't know if that's the official name, but that's what I call it. 4 walls and a ramp is extremely self-explanatory. If you're getting shot at or something, you're going to build 4 walls all around you in a perfect square, and then a ramp so you can walk up and peek. The reason you don't want to use this all the time is because it makes you very vulnerable. And by that I mean, if they shoot down one wall, you're completely exposed. So when you're using this, you're going to want to do it for a very short amount of time, or build it with stronger materials if you have more time. Using this is perfect, say if you hear a sniper shot whiz past your head, or you're getting shot at, you don't know what to do, you're a little overwhelmed, build the 4 walls really quick, build that ramp, peek out, see where the enemy is, and say that you need higher ground, build another 4 walls and build another ramp on top of that. Obviously this isn't going to be perfect if you're trying to stay in one spot for a long time like the final battle. I see a lot of people doing these in the final battle, which isn't the worst thing you could do, but when it's like a 2v2 and if somebody has a terrible just 4 walls and a ramp thing, you're going to melt that pretty quickly. Something you're going to be tempted to do throughout Fortnite is ramp rush. Ramp rushing is a little bit difficult to do just because if you don't hit your shots, you're going to die. Ramp rushing is when you just pretty much build your ramps up to somebody else's base and try and get the higher ground on them. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't, and you're going to be tempted to do it a lot, and even I kind of get caught doing it sometimes when I probably shouldn't. But if you absolutely have to ramp rush or you really want to push, in the video here I'm showing you guys when you're building up, build it too wide. The reason you do it too wide is so that they can't just shoot the bottom one and destroy your entire plan. When you build 2, they don't know really where to shoot from, where to shoot at, where you're coming from. You could be coming from multiple different angles, and it just overwhelms the enemy. So now let's move on to the combat. The combat in Fortnite does really come down to you being comfortable with the game and the controls, but here's a couple tips just to get you kind of into the game. So there's a bunch of different types of guns in Fortnite. There's pistols, there's submachine guns, there's burst rifles, there's scars, there's marksman rifles, there's snipers, there's shotguns, there's tactical shotguns. Just a bunch of stuff that's probably going to confuse you and you're not going to know what to use. So most commonly you're going to find ARs. These are just automatic. They shoot like medium speed, not too fast, not too slow. And those are the most common ones. And you're going to find usually the gray ones, which is the lowest tier. That's not bad. The colors do make a little bit of a difference, but not so much that like if you're bad at the game, you're going to be all of a sudden amazing if you have the one color higher. So don't worry about colors too much. But what I like to do personally is I like to have one automatic gun. Usually it is the AR because that is the most common and the most versatile weapon. And then I bring a shotgun or some sort of burst damage weapon. And by burst damage, I don't mean the burst assault rifle unless you're really comfortable with that. By burst damage, I kind of mean something like the shotgun, the submachine gun, the tactical submachine gun, or something like that. What I have found and what I see lots of other people doing is what they do is they come up with a shotgun. This is mainly for one-on-ones or one-on-two or two-on-two battles like that. They'll hit somebody with the shotgun once, do a lot of damage right away, and then switch to the AR or submachine gun and spray the enemy down. I found this to work the best just because that large damage output at the very start of the fight gives you the advantage for the rest of the fight. Sure, if the enemy hits like 10 back-to-back headshots with the AR, you're gonna die. But if you can hit that shotgun shot, that's very vital, because then you don't have to hit as many shots in that fight. The other thing in battle is building. You really have to do the building tips mixed in with fighting. When you're fighting, you can't just Call of Duty style, just mow them down. You can't just rush, no building. You have to do ramps, you have to build little covers for yourself, and you have to make sure that you're always on the move during a battle. A lot of times you will hear people talking about double pumping or something like swapping shotguns, something around that manner. Unless you're comfortable with the game and the controls, I wouldn't recommend that too much just because it's hard to hit those shots unless you're comfortable with the game. So the third section is strategy. Strategy kind of has been talked about in the first two tips being building and combat, but strategy does play a large part in this game. So there's a lot of different strategies you can take on, and obviously once you play the game a lot, you're gonna kind of form your own strategies. So what some people, well by some people I mean too many people, like to do is land right in tilted towers, get right into the action, get as many kills as they can, and hopefully win the game. As that may be a viable tactic, when you're first starting off, that might not be good, hopping in with a bunch of people who know how to double pump and build buildings very fast. When you first hop in, you're going to be wanting to look for some combat, but not a lot of people. So the perfect places for this are Anarchy Acres and Fatal Fields. Honorable mentions being something like Snobby Shores, Greasy Grove, just a bunch of other places that may not have a lot of people, but people will still land. Anarchy Acres and Fatal Fields are perfect because they're really spread out, but there's still lots of conflict. These areas being spread out is perfect for a new player because you have a little bit of time to loot those chests, get a gun, and be ready for your battle. So once you land down in something like Anarchy Acres or Fatal Fields, you're going to want to get ready because people are going to want to fight. Usually what I like doing is building onto one of the barns or the house, just onto the roof, getting a higher advantage, building walls around me, and getting ready and seeing where the enemies are. Obviously, if you don't have a good gun, you can't really do this, especially if you have something like just a shotgun, you can't really camp on a roof. You do need an AR or a burst rifle to do this. You will die quite a bit, so don't worry, it does have a steep learning curve to kind of get into the groove of things and know how to kill people efficiently. If you die a couple times, you might want to rage, you might want to say, hey, let's just go the least populated place, let's just camp in a corner, let's just chill, man, let's go all the way to over Moisty Mire, and let's just chill in the corner, under the water, man, let's just not see anybody until the final 5. Sure, this is going to give you lots of top 5s, top 10s, top 25s, but that's not what you're going to be looking for when you're first starting out. When you're first starting out, you want to get good at the game, you want to know how to get kills and how to defend yourself properly. And how are you going to do this? By practicing. You're not going to get wins by sitting in a corner. Obviously, there are people who do it by just chilling and doing absolutely nothing the entire game. 0 kills, W's are a thing, but that's not what you want to do when you're starting out. Getting in conflict and learning from your mistakes is what is going to launch you from a terrible player to a good player to a great player to ninja. And one last thing, in the game, obviously I said use the AR and the shotgun, whichever shotgun you're most comfortable with. What you're going to want to kind of try and do eventually is use guns like the sniper rifles, the miniguns, the rocket launchers, the crossbows, the grenade launchers, the boogie bombs, the traps, and stuff like that. You're going to want to use them when you have the chance, just to get used to them, because sometimes if you drop in and say you only have a rocket launcher, you only have a sniper rifle, you're going to have to learn how to use those, so definitely get used to them when you can. And finally, before I go, sorry guys for not uploading a lot recently. I've been really busy with school and stuff, and I really want to get back on the grind. I really want to start uploading a lot more. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please do like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys next time.
I've been down and out with myself, living life inside of my shell. I've been trying to cope with no help, living life inside my own hell. I've been trying to find a way out, wrote these raps to find a new sound.